It's a big week for Barcelona transfers. Chelsea triumph in the Champions League. The Copa America faces a bit of a crisis, a transfer roundup, and today's Emoji Mondays all coming up in the next few minutes. As I'm your host, Matt Froelich, you are the OneFootballers, and this is the Daily News. So first up, and amongst a whole lot of transfer activity over the weekend, Barcelona are preparing for a rather busy week. Today could see them announce the signing of Aguero Garcia on a free transfer from Manchester City. And along with this, there's another signing from Manchester City within the next few days, and that is Sergio Aguero. It's the move that we all knew was going to happen, but after the Champions League final at the weekend, which I will talk about in just a few minutes' time, he has finally agreed to join Barcelona, and new president Juan Laporta will be announcing his signing this week. But it doesn't stop there, or does it? There are a few new transfers which Barcelona are hoping to bring in the form of Gini Wijnaldum and Memphis Depay, but apparently they won't be able to announce their signing for quite a few weeks until after the European Championships, because manager Frank de Boer is not allowing any medical staff into the Netherlands camp to complete the medical, and that means that they cannot officially sign. It kind of makes sense actually to not have too many players distracted, but on the other hand, they will be distracted because they still don't know what's happening with their club future. Of course, this goes mainly for Gini Wijnaldum and Memphis Depay, who could be leaving Liverpool and Lyon respectively and heading to Barcelona. But what does it mean for players elsewhere? There's obviously been a lot of talks about the likes of Harry Kane and Jack Grealish in the England squad, and Gareth Southgate has said that he doesn't expect any deals to be done till after the Euros as well. So you may have to hold on a little bit longer until we see what happens with their futures. But talking of big deals as well in Spain, and David Alaba over the weekend announced that he would be signing for Real Madrid. And that is another massive signing on a free transfer. It's probably one of the best free transfers of the last few seasons. Anyway, moving on and talking about that Champions League final, and yes, Pep Guardiola did mess up. He overthought it. He played an 11 that he'd never played before at Manchester City, going for attacking intent instead of playing either Fernandinho or Rodri in that defensive midfield position like he had done for the previous 59 games this season. But all of that aside, it was Chelsea's night. It was Chelsea's Champions League, and they've won it for the second time, and Thomas Tuchel was brilliant. It was such a measured, careful performance, and tactically he got it spot on. Chelsea were fantastic at the back, and after Kai Havertz gave them the lead in what was a brilliant goal, not only that, really sort of put a strong end to what's been a difficult season for such an expensive signing in his first year in England. And I've no doubt he'll go on to be fantastic, and that was just a fantastic moment for him, along with N'Golo Kante, who was ridiculously good. And Mason Mount, Chelsea was defensively phenomenal, even losing Thiago Silva to injury in the first half. I did feel a bit sorry for him. He lost the final with PSG last season, as did Thomas Tuchel, and now 1 year later, he's getting injured in the final, but it didn't matter because they lifted the trophy in the end anyway. You do have to feel very, very sorry for Kevin De Bruyne. After that clash with Antonio Rudiger, it looks like he's broken his nose and the socket around his eye, and he could be a doubt for the first game of Belgium's Euro 2020 campaign. But yeah, like I mentioned, Chelsea were fully deserving of it. They had a fantastic game, and it looked like they were never going to concede after going 1-0 up. Only Riyad Mahrez had that very, very close shot towards the end of the game. Pep Guardiola said that he will be staying at Manchester City there, and he's already got a few signings in mind, and the same thing does go for Thomas Tuchel as well. Apparently he, having never met owner Roman Abramovich until lifting the Champions League trophy, wants to build an empire and has quite a few signings in mind. If rumours are anything to go by, one of them could be Romelu Lukaku, which is absolutely insane, but I don't quite think that one is going to happen. But talking of Tuchel and Abramovich, I'm struggling to think of another managerial change that has been that good within such a short amount of time. Which other team has swapped a manager, gone from 8th to 4th, qualified for the Champions League, made it to the FA Cup final, and then won the Champions League? Apart from Chelsea doing it again and swapping and bringing in Roberto Di Matteo back in 2012, even though he wasn't really long term, I can't think of a better change of managers throughout a season. Anyway, next up and to the Copa America, which kicks off in a few days as well, but doesn't yet have a host. A couple of weeks ago, Colombia were removed as part host as there was a little bit of political unrest in the country, and now Argentina have been removed after a spike in COVID cases. This means with just 13 days to go that today they are looking at potentially moving it to another country, and they have absolutely no idea where. doesn't exactly help preparations for most teams where they have no idea where they'll be flying to. But of course, like Uruguayan forward Luis Suarez said, you have to think about the human side of things first. That'll all be kicking off in a few days. We'll be keeping an eye on that, just as we are with the Euros as well here at OneFootball. Next up, and former Juventus sporting director Fabio Paratici is apparently being courted by Tottenham Hotspur alongside fellow Italian Antonio Conte as the next double act to take over in North London. Elsewhere, Watford are apparently been told by Arsenal they will need to pay £50 million if they want to bring in Eddie Nketiah. PSG are reportedly close to agreeing a £60 million move for Inter Milan defender Achraf Hakimi just 1 year after he joined the club. And lastly but not least, it was a good weekend for Roma, Wolfsburg and Barcelona women as they all won their respective FA Cups. And on top of all of this, it meant that the Barcelona women's side now took home the treble. Next, we move on to a Friday Feels recap where you guys left all your comments and predictions in the daily news section on Friday. And first off, we have Terran14 who guessed that Kai Havertz would get on the score sheet. Alongside this, Sadvik Sharma guessed that Chelsea would win 1-0 in regular time. And finally, a shout out to Angelina who gave her predictions on Friday that Brentford would win at the weekend and Ivan Toney would be on the score sheet. He did, and Brentford had made it to the promised land, winning promotion to the Premier League. Finally then, we come to this week's Emoji Mondays. This is pretty much the last one of the season. And the best player of the weekend goes to N'Golo Kante. I mentioned it before, he was phenomenal in the Champions League final when Chelsea have an absolute legend on their hands. He's not just a good player, he's not a little bit lucky, he's not this, he's not that. He is a certified footballing legend and forever will be. Next up, and the craziest moment of the weekend actually came in the League One playoff final between Blackpool and Lincoln, where despite winning 2-1 in the end, Blackpool conceded a ridiculous own goal after just 52 seconds. And finally, the best result of the weekend, there is two, of course. There is Chelsea's Champions League final win over Manchester City 1-0, and there's also, I mentioned it a little bit earlier, Brentford winning 2-0 against Swansea to see them into the top division of English football for the first time since 1948. That's all from me then today. Make sure you let me know your Emoji Mondays down below and check out everything else we've got going on here and here. Until next time though, have a great week and I'll see you guys later.